What's up, cupcakes? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm showing you how to make this Vecna mask and hand. Let's get into the tutorial. We're starting off with our face cast. You should definitely use a face cast or a mask to build on top of. We're taking some cotton balls, unraveling them so that they're nice in little strips, and then I'm just dipping those little strips into a puddle of liquid latex that I've laid down on my desk. This makes it nice and saturated, and it makes it so easy to work with. I'm just layering those on top of my face cast, getting the structure of Vecna's face down first before we go into add in little details. Now we're gonna coat the cotton. I love using a palette knife or sponge to really saturate the cotton. It makes it so easy and doesn't stick to your fingers. You're gonna get that nice and saturated so you have a nice base to work off of. Once you have the cotton saturated, take a step back to see where else you might need to add. Here I just added a little bit more on the cheekbones. I like to carve into the cotton just to give it a little more of an additional detail. So I'm using a palette knife, but you can also use the end of a brush to kind of dig into the cotton and give it some detail. To get the texture on the face, I'm taking more cotton and I'm just taking really tiny strips of that and kind of rolling it in between my hands to make them into tiny little worms, dipping them into liquid latex and dragging them across the face, trying to get them in the shape and lines to match the reference image. I also like to take my palette knife and dig in between the cotton just to make sure that it is kind of adding more shape, and also just kind of pushing around those little wormy bits to make them into the shape that I want, you know, make it look Vecna-y. Add your little wormy bits, let your mask dry 24 hours, and we'll meet back. Alright, prosthetic is dry, and now we're just going to take some translucent powder and powder the whole exterior of the mask first, and then lifting the mask little bit by little bit, powdering underneath each little bit that you pull, making sure that every inch is completely powdered, and you're just going to go around the perimeter first, pulling it all nice and easy. Be easy on your mask, and then you're going to trim away all of the extra little liquid latex bits that you don't need, getting everything all nice and smoothed out and ready for application. And now you're ready to be Vecna. What's up? Let's make the hand. I'm wearing a black latex glove and I'm going to be covering it with these plaster bandages. I got these from Hobby Lobby, and then you cut them into little strips. You dip the strips into water, and then you're going to wrap each finger and then wrap the base of the 4 fingers. Then you're going to wrap the thumb, making sure that it's off on its own. Don't connect the plaster bandage of the thumb to the other fingers if you want to be able to move the thumb kind of away from the hand a little bit so you have some slight movement in the hand. Allow that to dry for about 10 minutes and then carefully take your fingers out of the glove, trying not to disturb the plaster. If you'd like from here, you can start building the hand, but I did wait for about 30 to 40 minutes, allowing it to dry just a little bit more because it still feels a little cold and wet, so I would just allow it to dry if you want it to come out the best. Once your hand is dried, you're gonna take some Model Magic and start building up the fingers. All of the fingers are gonna be made out of Model Magic. If you want a little bit of extra kind of like security, I would add a little bit of wire on the first, second, and third finger so that whenever you extend out the fingers, it has something in the middle just to kind of give it a little bit more structure. I didn't end up doing that, but one of my fingers did break down the middle, so just a heads up on that. Once I made one of the fingers, I would allow it to dry for about 15 minutes, come back and then make the second finger, and then let that dry for about 15 minutes and then make the next finger, and so on and so forth, because it's so easy for the Model Magic to kind of get dented. So by allowing like 15 minutes or so, it kind of created like a hard film around it almost so that it wouldn't kind of disturb itself. So that's a way that you can do it if you'd like to, and that's how I did it. I didn't record all the fingers being done, just this one. So once I created that one finger, I just started kind of creating some indentions where the knuckles would be at and where the fingernail would be at. Once dried, it should look a little something like this. So because Model Magic, once it dries, it can't be like expanded. You can see there's definitely cracking, but it kind of just added to it. To create some finger vines, we're going to be taking this cotton, unraveling it into little strips like we did before, and breaking it into little pieces so that we can put it in between our hands, make a little fire, and this is going to make it into a little compact string for you. And you want to make like lots of these. So I would highly recommend making lots of these little strips before you start working with the liquid latex, so you're not going back and forth between the cotton and latex. Such a nightmare. So pre-plan it out and make lots of these little strings, and then we'll meet back. Now that we got our little strings, our little wormies, we're gonna dip them into some liquid latex and apply them all over the hands. Now, I was not looking at a reference image at this point. I was kind of just ready to get the ball rolling and get Vecna done. So I'm pretty much just winging it on here, thinking of how like Vecna's hand would look, and just have fun with it. Allow the hand to dry for about 15 minutes and then go in with your body paints and paint the hand with your body paints. I did body paints and a little bit of cream paint on mine, just trying to kind of go with what the colors were of Vecna. I waited actually until I had Vecna's body paint on before I painted the hand so that it was cohesive, so you can do it that way, but I didn't create a end video to show. So this is how the hand ended up turning out. Ta-da! I hope these videos were helpful to you, and if you have any questions, please let me know. I had so much fun creating this look, and it definitely made me use multiple like mediums to create this. Thanks for watching the video. Please like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Love ya. Bye. In the next one. Love ya. Bye.